Hello there, welcome to my review of the Rockford Files Season 4, Episode 12, The Queen of Peru, written by David Chase and directed by Meta Rosenberg. The episode begins with Jim and returning Colombo connection George Weiner meeting two ski mask wearing gents on an empty road. Weiner is Stephen Califer, an insurance agent there to negotiate the return of the stolen Borland diamond. Jim thinks the crooks are running a con and weren't the ones who stole the diamond at all, but goes along with the plan for an exchange. His plan. Unbeknownst to Jim and Califer, Jim is half right. The two thieves did steal the diamond, but not from the Borland Museum. They actually stole it from one of the crooks' brothers, Lou, and a Cockney ginger, who actually committed the heist and who chase down the two men and shoot one of them. The crook that escapes, with the diamond, makes his way to Rockford's trailer and stashes it there. This is another full-on opening from David Chase that squeezes a lot in, and most of it works brilliantly. There is one big issue which doesn't quite work and could easily confuse on first viewing. The only clue that the two thieves we see with their masks off are the same men that we saw with Jim and Califer is that one of them is wearing Florsheim shoes, something Califer draws our attention to.
The taller one was wearing Florsheims.
I feel like this clue is easily missed, as I didn't know what Florsheim shoes were.
They're really nice. They're Florsheim, you know. I didn't know.
I dismissed it as a clue to begin with because Jim is so dismissive of it.
Did you notice that?
No, not really.
And it comes after another clue that Califer tries to draw attention to that is completely useless.
032 PCE.
Those vehicles are either rented or they're hot.
Also, our attention isn't drawn to the shoes until after the two masked men have left and aren't particularly highlighted the next time we see them. I feel like a simple scene of one or both of them taking their masks off, or for them to be having a conversation about the diamond the next time we see them, would have been far easier to follow than what we get. Having said that, we are treated to a wonderful scene between Jim and Califer, where Jim is hilariously dismissive of Califer.
We have a word for people like you.
I can hardly wait.
Lollygagger.
That was worth waiting for.
And put me in mind of a similar rapport Weiner has with Chevy Chase in the Fletch films.
Cash? I'm impressed. Open your raincoat.
Which then got me thinking about how great James Garner would have been as Fletch in his younger days, but that's getting way off the point. The way Jim gently belittles Califer is perfect, showing the reversal of the supposed power dynamic between them, when Jim simply doesn't care.
I'm a lieutenant colonel in the National Guard. When the social order has broken down, and the Guard is the last line of defense, you won't think it's so silly.
Sure I will. I'm just a silly guy.
We next see Jim rudely awakened by some new noisy neighbours, the Roncos, with Father Carl played by another returning Colombo connection, Ken Swafford, using a colourful British swear word that I can only assume David Chase got from the actor playing the Cockney ginger, Christopher Carey.
Stop this thing all bollock, stop! You don't know the value of $1.
This proto-Griswold family drive Jim to distraction, but manage to add more levity to the show, demonstrating it's clearly going to be one of the lighter caper episodes.
Our bathroom's broken. You think Shireen can use yours?
Yeah, sure.
This is further demonstrated when Jim and Califer meet with the now lone thief who says he left the diamond in Jim's barbecue, which leads Jim back to his trailer to discover that the Roncos have thankfully gone, but have swiped his grill. Califer gets a slug to the chin for trying to play the hero, and Jim ends up in a cell for 24 hours.
Becca, take him down, hold him 24 hours.
Hey, oh, he gets to go home and I get the clanger?
We also discover that the crook Ginger Shot is still alive and is helping Ginger and his brother Lou track down the diamond, starting with Jim.
James Rockford was arrested last night. He's being released now.
Jim eventually gets a lead on where the Roncos are headed, just as Carl Ronco discovers his son Sean has stolen Jim's barbecue and dumps the ashes, diamond included, at the side of the road. As Lou and Ginger pursue Jim and kidnap Califer to do so, Jim pursues the Roncos, using his smarts to bring them to him. He eventually catches up with them, eventually discovers what they did to his ashes, and eventually agrees to split the reward with Carl. Unfortunately, the crooks spot Ronco's RV and start taking potshots at it, until Rockford takes control of the situation, stops the crooks, and the diamond is recovered. This episode is definitely what you would describe as light on plot. After the initial, quite dense setup, the second and third acts consists of mostly comedy set pieces involving Jim, the Roncos, Califer or the crooks, or some combination of all of them. But it's so well written, the plot really doesn't matter too much. Chase manages to combine visual gags, character bits, and funny dialogue perfectly, so you're never bored or desperate for the story to get on with it. You're also never quite sure of where it will go, particularly after the diamond is discarded. And by keeping everyone alive to the end, Chase understands that you undermine the comedy if you kill off one of the characters. So the hapless crook who gets shot shows that Ginger is a credible threat, but by keeping him alive we are still able to enjoy the ridiculousness of the episode.
Looks to me like we're going to have to bivouac here another couple of days.
It's about as silly as the Rockford Files ever gets, and probably about as silly as it could be without undermining the core premise of the show. So needs to be as well constructed as it is to still work. But I think it's an absolute blast, and easily a 5 out of 5 from me. Thank you. Goodbye.